The gun clicked. I stopped mid-sip of my iced caramel macchiato, my eyes widening as I finally, looked up from my phone and realized 3 catastrophic things. 1. This was not my Uber. 2. The dangerously beautiful Korean man in the custom black suit sitting across from me had a silver pistol pointed directly at my chest. 3. I had somehow managed to get myself killed before my student loans were even paid off. "You have 10 seconds to explain why you're in my car," he said, his voice smooth as expensive whiskey and twice as dangerous. His dark eyes pinned me in place, and God help me, even with a weapon aimed at my vital organs, I noticed how unfairly gorgeous he was. Sharp jawline, perfect skin, lips that looked like they were carved by angels with a specific agenda. My brain finally caught up with my mouth. "Okay, so funny story. 5 seconds. I thought you were my Uber." I blurted out, throwing my hands up so fast I nearly baptized him with my coffee. Black Mercedes, license plate. Wait. I squinted at my phone, then at the window. Oh my God, I'm on the wrong street. This is Lexington. I was supposed to be on Madison. Hey beautiful people. Before we dive into this crazy story, my mom literally bet me that this video wouldn't hit 10,000 views or 1,000 subscribers. She said nobody wants to watch Afro-Korean romance anymore. Please prove her wrong. Smash that subscribe button and like this video right now and comment where you are watching from. Let's show her that love has no boundaries and our community is strong. Now back to Zara's disaster. The man didn't lower his gun. Instead, his eyes narrowed, scanning me like I was a puzzle he couldn't quite solve. "You entered a stranger's car by mistake." In my defense, all black Mercedes looked the same, and I was texting my best friend about how my date just cancelled on me via Snapchat. Snapchat. Like we're 16. I was rambling now, a nervous habit that had gotten me through many awkward situations but probably wouldn't work against armed mafia types. Also, your car was unlocked. Who leaves a Mercedes unlocked in Manhattan? That's just asking for trouble. I was waiting for someone. Well, congratulations. You got me instead. Lucky you. I flashed him my brightest smile, the one that usually got me out of speeding tickets. So, if you could just not shoot me? That would be amazing. I have a hair appointment tomorrow, and I really don't want to cancel. For a split second, just a fraction of a moment, I saw his lips twitch. Almost like he wanted to smile. Then his expression hardened again, and he pressed a button on the door panel. The locks clicked. My heart stopped. "You're not leaving," he said simply. "Okay, that's kidnapping. That's a whole felony. I'm a law-abiding citizen, mostly, and I do not consent to this." I reached for the door handle anyway, yanking it uselessly. "Come on, man. I'm a grad student. I have $17 in my bank account and half a box of ramen at home. I'm not worth kidnapping." "You saw my face." "So? I see like 300 faces a day on the subway. I'm not gonna remember." I stopped, actually looking at him for the first time. Really looking. And oh, this man wasn't just handsome. He was the kind of handsome that made you stupid. Sharp cheekbones, intense dark eyes that seemed to see straight through my soul, black hair styled perfectly, and a presence that screamed power and danger in equal measure. Yeah, I was definitely going to remember this face. "Okay, you might have a point," I admitted. "But in my defense, I have face blindness. Terrible condition. Can't remember anyone. You could be my own brother and I'd forget you tomorrow." "You don't have a brother. You have 2 sisters. Amara and Zuri." His voice was cold, factual. Ice flooded my veins. "How do you? I know everything about everyone in this city who matters." He finally lowered the gun, but somehow that made him more terrifying, not less. "The question is why you don't matter. Yet you're here. Bad luck? Mercury in retrograde? God's personal vendetta against me specifically?" He leaned forward, and suddenly the spacious back seat felt impossibly small. I could smell his cologne. Something dark and expensive that probably cost more than my rent. "What's your name?" "Zara." It came out as a whisper. "Zara Okonkwo." "Zara," he repeated, and the way he said it, with that slight Korean accent curling around the syllables, did something dangerous to my insides. I'm Kang Minho, and you've just become my problem. I don't want to be your problem. I want to go home and eat my feelings in cookie dough ice cream while watching trashy reality TV. Too late. He pressed another button, and the car started moving smoothly into traffic. You're coming with me. Where? Are you taking me to some warehouse to dispose of my body? Because I should warn you, I'm a terrible victim. I ask too many questions and I cry really ugly. Like, snot everywhere. It's not cinematic at all. For the first time, he actually smiled. It was small, barely there, but it transformed his entire face from terrifying to devastating. I'm taking you to dinner. I blinked. I'm sorry, what? You said your date cancelled. I'm hungry. Problem solved. That's not, you can't just kidnap someone and take them to dinner. I just did. He settled back against the leather seat, completely relaxed now, like he hadn't just held me at gunpoint 30 seconds ago. Besides, you entered my car. Technically, you kidnapped yourself. That is not how kidnapping works. Do you like Italian or French better? My brain was short-circuiting. Are you insane? Frequently. His eyes met mine again, and there was something there now, heat, interest, danger all mixed together. But I'm also curious. Anyone stupid enough or brave enough to accidentally get into a stranger's car and then argue with them while armed deserves dinner at least. This is crazy. You're crazy. I'm crazy for even considering. Italian it is. He pulled out his phone. No gun in sight now, just smooth confidence. I know a place. And just like that, I realized I was having dinner with a man who'd held me at gunpoint 3 minutes ago. My therapist was going to have a field day with this. But here's the thing, as Minho made a call in rapid Korean, his voice dropping an octave, and I caught him glancing at me with those intense dark eyes like I was something rare and unexpected. A traitorous part of me whispered that maybe, just maybe, accidentally entering the wrong car was the best mistake I'd ever made. God, I really needed to work on my survival instincts. The restaurant was the kind of place that didn't have prices on the menu, which meant I definitely couldn't afford anything on it. Minho led me through the dimly lit interior with his hand on the small of my back. Possessive, warm, and completely inappropriate given that we'd met via near murder 20 minutes ago. Every person we passed either nodded respectfully at him or quickly looked away, and I was starting to piece together exactly what kind of businessman my accidental kidnapper was. So, I said as we slid into a private booth tucked away in the corner, on a scale of 1 to definitely going to witness something I shouldn't, how illegal is your job? He had the audacity to look amused. Depends on who's asking. The woman you forced into your car. You entered voluntarily. Under false pretenses. I thought you were my Uber driver, not a... I gestured vaguely at him, at the restaurant, at the 3 men in suits strategically positioned around the room who were definitely bodyguards. Whatever this is. CEO, he supplied smoothly, opening the wine menu. Of what? Crime Incorporated. That earned me a real smile, the kind that crinkled the corners of his eyes and made my stomach do inappropriate flips. Import-export. Ah yes, the classic cover story. Let me guess, you import danger and export problems. Something like that. He ordered in fluent Italian to the waiter who appeared out of nowhere, then turned those dark eyes back to me. Tell me about yourself, Zara Okonkwo who mistakes Mafia cars for Ubers. Mafia. I knew it. I should have been terrified. I should have been running. Instead, I was sitting across from him feeling more alive than I had in months. And there's not much to tell. Grad student, Columbia, communications degree. Painfully average life. The most exciting thing that usually happens to me is when the bodega downstairs gets my coffee order right. Liar. I blinked. Excuse me. You're not average. He leaned forward, studying me with unnerving intensity. Average women don't argue with armed strangers. Average women don't make jokes about their own kidnapping. And average women definitely don't look at me the way you're looking at me right now. Heat crept up my neck. And how am I looking at you? Like you can't decide if you want to run away or move closer. Damn. He had me there. The wine arrived. Something red and probably worth more than my textbooks. Miho poured for both of us, and when his fingers brushed mine passing the glass, I felt it everywhere. Okay, your turn, I said, trying to regain some control of this increasingly surreal situation. Tell me about Kang Minho, definitely not a criminal CEO. I'm Korean. I run several businesses in Manhattan. And I don't usually have dinner with women who accidentally invade my personal space. Several businesses or several businesses. I made air quotes. Both. He took a sip of wine, watching me over the rim of his glass. Does it bother you? I should have said yes. Any sane person would have said yes. Instead, I found myself saying, honestly? I'm more bothered by how good you look for someone who threatened my life an hour ago. That feels unfair. His eyes went dark with something that definitely wasn't danger, or at least, not the violent kind. You think I look good? I think you look like trouble wrapped in a Tom Ford suit. You know Tom Ford? I know expensive when I see it. I took a long sip of wine for courage. So what happens now? You wine and dine me, then what? I wake up knowing too much and have to go into witness protection? Join your criminal empire? Marry you for diplomatic immunity? I was joking. Obviously joking. But Miho tilted his head, considering. The last option has potential. I nearly choked on my wine. I'm sorry. You're interesting, Zara. I don't get interested often. He said it so casually, like he was commenting on the weather and not completely derailing my entire understanding of reality. And you're right, you do know too much now. I can't just let you leave. That's kidnapping. Again. Still kidnapping. Or dating. My brain flatlined. You can't just decide we're dating. Why not? He gestured around the restaurant. We're already having dinner. Chemistry is clearly present. You're attracted to me. Debatable. And I'm attracted to you. Why waste time pretending otherwise? Because we met an hour ago. At gunpoint. Best first impression I've ever made, apparently. He was full-on smiling now, and God, it was unfair how devastating he was. I like you, Zara. You're funny. Brave. And you haven't stopped looking at my mouth for the last 5 minutes. I had absolutely been looking at his mouth, and now I was caught. You're insane. We've established this. He reached across the table, catching my hand before I could pull away. His thumb traced circles on my palm, and the simple touch sent electricity straight through me. Have dinner with me. Properly. Tomorrow night. You're already having dinner with me tonight. Against my will. Tomorrow will be with your enthusiastic consent. His voice dropped lower, intimate. I'll pick you up. Somewhere nice. No guns, I promise. The bar is literally on the floor. Then I'll raise it. His eyes locked with mine, intense and sincere in a way that made my breath catch. Give me a chance to do this right, Zara. One real date. If you hate it, I'll personally drive you home and never bother you again. And if I don't hate it? His smile turned predatory. Then I'll keep you. I should have said no. Every rational brain cell I possessed was screaming at me to run away from the gorgeous Mafia CEO who spoke about keeping me like I was something precious and rare. But here's the thing about Miho, when he looked at me, I didn't feel average. I felt seen. Wanted. Like I was the most fascinating person he'd ever met, and he was willing to burn down the world to keep me interested. It was intoxicating. It was dangerous. It was exactly what I'd been missing without even knowing it. Fine, I heard myself say. One date. But if you pull a gun on me again. You'll what? He was grinning now, full and genuine. I'll steal your car and leave you stranded. He laughed. Actually laughed, his head tilting back, the sound rich and warm. Deal. Our food arrived then, and we fell into easy conversation. He told me about growing up in Seoul before moving to New York. I told him about my Nigerian parents' horror at me choosing communications over medicine. He asked about my sisters with genuine interest. I asked about his import-export business with genuine sarcasm. It was wrong. It was crazy. It was the best date I'd never meant to have. 2 hours later, Miho walked me to his car, the same Mercedes I'd accidentally invaded a lifetime ago. But this time, he opened the door for me like a gentleman. "I'll take you home," he said softly. "You don't know where I live." "Zara." He gave me a look. "I told you. I know everything." Right. Mafia CEO. Probably had my entire life story in a file somewhere. The drive to my apartment in Harlem was quiet but charged with tension. Every time we stopped at a red light, I felt his eyes on me. Every time I glanced over, he was watching me with that same intense focus that made me feel like I was the only person in his universe. When we pulled up to my building, he got out and walked me to the door like this was a normal date and not the weirdest night of my life. "Tomorrow," he said, standing close enough that I could feel his body heat. 7 p.m. "You're very confident I'll say yes." "You already did." His hand came up, fingers gentle as they tucked a braided lock behind my ear. The touch was soft, reverent even, and it made my knees weak. "I'll see you tomorrow, Zara." He turned to leave, and I don't know what possessed me. Maybe the wine, maybe the adrenaline, maybe the way he said my name like it was something sacred, but I grabbed his wrist. "Miho." He turned back, eyebrows raised. I went up on my tiptoes and kissed his cheek, quick and impulsive. "Thank you for not shooting me." For a moment, he just stared at me, something unreadable flickering in his dark eyes. Then his hand came up to cup my jaw, thumb brushing my cheekbone, and he leaned down until our faces were inches apart. "If I kiss you right now," he murmured, his breath warm against my lips, "I won't stop. And we both know you're not ready for that yet." My heart was hammering so hard I was sure he could hear it. Presumptuous. Accurate. His thumb traced my bottom lip, and I shivered. "Tomorrow, Zara. Wear something that makes you feel beautiful." Then he stepped back, leaving me cold and wanting, and walked back to his car. I stood there on my doorstep, watching his taillights disappear into Manhattan traffic, and realized with absolute certainty that I was in so much trouble. The best kind of trouble. I changed outfits 7 times. "Girl, just pick one." My roommate and best friend Imani called from the living room. "He's seen you in coffee-stained jeans and still asked you out. The bar is literally underground." That's what I said. I yelled back, staring at my reflection. I'd finally settled on a fitted emerald green dress that hugged my curves perfectly and made my dark skin glow. Simple gold jewelry. My locks styled up in an elegant bun. Heels that said I'm sophisticated, but could also be used as weapons if necessary. When Miho's text came at exactly 6:55 p.m., I'm outside. My stomach did a complicated gymnastics routine. Imani whistled when I walked into the living room. Okay. I see you. You look gorgeous. Now go get your mafia prince." "He's not my..." "Zara. You've talked about nothing else for 24 hours. He's already yours, you just don't know it yet." She pushed me toward the door. "And text me every hour so I know you're alive." Miho was leaning against a different car this time, a sleek black Audi, and when he saw me, his entire expression transformed. He looked at me like I was art, like I was something worth memorizing, and it made me feel powerful and vulnerable all at once. "Zara." He crossed to me in 3 strides, taking my hand and lifting it to his lips in a gesture so old-fashioned and romantic it should have been cheesy but instead made my heart stutter. "You're stunning. You're not so bad yourself." Understatement of the century. He was wearing all black, dress shirt with the top 2 buttons undone, tailored slacks, and a watch that probably cost more than my education. He looked like sin and salvation packaged together. He opened the car door for me, and as I slid in, I caught him watching the way my dress rode up slightly on my thighs. When his eyes met mine, they were dark with want. This was going to be a long night. "Where are we going?" I asked as he pulled into traffic. "You'll see." 20 minutes later, we pulled up to a building in Chelsea, and Miho led me not into a restaurant, but into what looked like a private art gallery. Except it was closed, empty except for us. Did you rent out an entire gallery? I breathed, looking around at the stunning contemporary art on the walls. I own it, he said casually, like that was normal. I thought you'd appreciate something more private for our first real date. No interruptions. Just us. My heart melted a little. You remembered I studied communications. You thought I'd like art. I remember everything you tell me. He guided me through the space, his hand warm on the small of my back. You mentioned your sister Amara is a painter. I thought you might enjoy this. We walked through the gallery, and he told me about each piece, the artist, the story, the meaning. He was knowledgeable and passionate, and watching him talk about art with such genuine enthusiasm made him even more attractive, which I hadn't thought possible. This one, he said, stopping in front of a stunning painting of a woman mid-dance, all movement and color and joy, reminded me of you. Because she's chaotic. Because she's free. His eyes found mine. You have this energy, Zara. Like you can't be contained. Like you're too bright for small spaces. No one had ever described me like that before. I'd always been the responsible one, the practical one, the sister who played it safe. But when Miho looked at me, I felt wild. Possible. Like I could be anyone, do anything. Come on, he said, taking my hand. Dinner's upstairs. The rooftop had been transformed into something from a fairy tale. String lights everywhere, a table set for two overlooking the Manhattan skyline, candles flickering in the evening breeze. A private chef was already preparing food at a discreet distance. Miho, I whispered, overwhelmed. This is too much. Perfect. I turned to him, feeling brave. You're really good at this. At what? Making me feel special. Something flickered in his expression, vulnerable, almost uncertain. You are special, Zara. I meant what I said yesterday. I don't get interested often. But you. He stepped closer, his hand coming up to cup my face. You walked into my car, into my life, and everything shifted. I can't explain it. I don't want to explain it. I just want to see where this goes. Even though we're completely wrong for each other. Especially because of that. His thumb brushed my cheekbone. Nothing about you makes sense to me. You should be terrified of me. Instead, you argue with me. Challenge me. Make me laugh. When was the last time someone made me laugh, Zara? When was the last time someone held me at gunpoint and then took me to dinner? I counted, but my voice was soft. He smiled. Touché. Dinner was incredible. The chef had prepared a fusion menu of Korean and Nigerian dishes, somehow knowing exactly what would make me feel at home while introducing me to Miho's culture. We talked about everything and nothing. He told me about his mother in Seoul who called him every Sunday. I told him about my dad's terrible jokes and my mom's legendary jollof rice. I want to meet them, Miho said suddenly. I nearly dropped my fork. My parents. Eventually. He reached across the table, lacing our fingers together. I know this is fast. I know it's crazy. But I don't do anything halfway, Zara. If I want you, and I do, then I want all of you. Your family, your friends, your world. That's intense. I'm intense. He brought my hand to his lips, kissing my knuckles. Is that a problem? I should have said yes. I should have pumped the brakes on whatever this was. Instead, I stood up, walked around the table, and kissed him. He froze for half a second, surprised. Then his hands were in my hair, on my waist, pulling me into his lap as he kissed me back with a hunger that stole my breath. His lips were soft but demanding, his tongue teasing mine, and when he bit gently on my bottom lip I made a sound I didn't recognize. Zara, he groaned against my mouth. We should stop. Do you want to stop? His hands tightened on my hips, and I could feel exactly how much he didn't want to stop. No. But I'm trying to be a gentleman. What if I don't want a gentleman right now? I kissed along his jaw, feeling bold and reckless and alive. What if I want you? He pulled back just enough to look at me, his eyes nearly black with desire. Don't start something you're not ready to finish. Who says I'm not ready? For a moment, we just stared at each other, the tension so thick I could barely breathe. Then Minho stood, lifting me with him like I weighed nothing, and carried me toward the door. Where are we going? I gasped, clinging to his shoulders. Somewhere private. His voice was rough, strained. Because when I have you, Zara, and I will have you, I want to take my time. He set me down in the elevator, but kept me pressed against the wall, his body caging mine, his forehead resting against mine as we both tried to catch our breath. This is crazy, I whispered. I know. I barely know you. You know enough. His hand cupped my face, gentle despite the desire burning in his eyes. You know I'd never hurt you. You know I want you more than I've wanted anything. And you know this, he gestured between us, is real. Rare. Worth the risk. The elevator doors opened on the ground floor, and Minho took my hand, leading me back to his car. I'm taking you home, he said, and my heart sank with disappointment until he added, my home. If that's okay. It was reckless. It was too soon. It was everything I'd never let myself do before. Okay, I breathed. His smile was devastating. Hold on tight, beautiful. This is going to be one hell of a ride. Minho's penthouse was exactly what I expected. All glass and steel and expensive minimalism with a view of Manhattan that probably cost more than most people's houses. But I barely noticed any of it because the moment the door closed behind us, Minho had me pressed against it, his mouth on mine, kissing me like I was oxygen and he'd been drowning. Last chance, he murmured against my lips, his hands framing my face. We can stop. I can take you home. We can go slow. I looked up at him, this dangerous, beautiful man who somehow made me feel safe and wild at the same time, and made my choice. I don't want slow. Something snapped in him then. His kiss turned demanding, consuming, as he lifted me and carried me through the penthouse to his bedroom. We left a trail of his jacket, my shoes, his shirt, my inhibitions. He laid me on his bed like I was precious, then stood back just looking at me. You're staring, I said, suddenly self-conscious. I'm memorizing. His voice was rough. Every curve. Every inch. The way you look in my bed. He came down over me, his weight perfect and right. I want to remember this moment forever. Then he kissed me again, and there was no more talking. Just sensation, heat, the slide of skin against skin as he worshipped every part of me with his hands, his mouth, his whispered words in Korean that sounded like prayers. When he finally made me his, it was slow and intense and perfect. He watched my face the entire time, like my pleasure was his religion, and when I shattered in his arms he held me through it, murmuring my name like it was the only word that mattered. After, we lay tangled together, my head on his chest, his fingers tracing lazy patterns on my skin. Stay, he said quietly. Tonight. Tomorrow. However long you'll give me. Minho. I know it's fast. I know it's crazy. But Zara. He tilted my face up to meet his eyes. I'm falling for you. Maybe I've already fallen. And I don't care if that scares you, because it terrifies me too. My heart clenched. You don't do anything halfway, do you? Not when it comes to you. He kissed my forehead, tender and sweet. I want this. I want you. In my life, in my bed, in my future. Tell me you feel it too. I did. God help me, I did. I feel it, I whispered. But I'm scared. Of me. Of how much I want this. How much I want you. I pressed my hand over his heart, feeling it beat strong and steady. 2 days ago, I didn't know you existed. Now I can't imagine my life without you in it. That's terrifying. He covered my hand with his. Then be terrified with me. We'll figure it out together. We fell asleep like that, wrapped around each other, and I'd never felt more safe or more reckless in my entire life. I woke up to sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows and Minho's arm heavy across my waist. For a moment, I just lay there, processing the fact that I'd slept with a Mafia CEO I'd known for 48 hours. My phone buzzed on the nightstand, 17 texts from Imani, ranging from "are you alive" to "if you don't text me back I'm calling the police" to "okay, the fact that you're not responding means you're either dead or having amazing sex, and I really hope it's option B. I was texting her back, alive. Very alive. We'll explain later. When Minho stirred behind me, pulling me closer. "Morning," he murmured against my neck, his voice sleep rough and sexy. "Morning." I turned in his arms, and the smile he gave me was soft and genuine and made my heart do stupid things. "Stay for breakfast. I'll make you something. You cook. I'm full of surprises." He kissed me, slow and sweet. "And I want to feed you, then take you out properly. Show you my favorite places in the city. Introduce you to my world. Your world includes illegal activity. Some of it." He didn't lie, didn't sugarcoat. "But I'll keep you separate from that part. Safe. Protected. You'll only see what I choose to show you. That's not how relationships work, Minho. You can't compartmentalize me." His expression turned serious. "I'm trying to protect you." "I don't need protection. I need honesty." I sat up, pulling the sheet with me. "If we're doing this, really doing this, then I need to know what I'm getting into. All of it." For a long moment, he just looked at me. Then he sighed, running a hand through his hair. "Okay. You want honesty? I run one of the largest Korean syndicates on the East Coast. I import and export goods, some legal, some not. I have enemies. People who would love to hurt me by hurting anyone I care about. And right now, Zara, I care about you more than I've cared about anyone in years." My heart was racing, but I kept my voice steady. "What kind of illegal goods?" "Nothing that harms innocents. No drugs, no human trafficking, nothing like that. I have lines I don't cross." His jaw tightened. "But I'm not a good man, Zara. I've done things. Hurt people who deserved it. Made decisions that kept me up at night. Are you in danger right now?" "Always. But I'm careful. Protected." He reached for my hand. "This is why I wanted to keep you separate. Why I wanted to protect you from knowing too much. Too late." I squeezed his fingers. "I already know too much. And I'm still here. You're either very brave or very stupid. Probably both." I leaned forward, kissing him softly. "But I meant what I said. I want honesty. All of it. The good, the bad, the dangerous. If you want me in your life, Minho, then I'm all in. But no secrets. No compartmentalizing. Deal?" He stared at me like I was a miracle. "You're serious?" "As a heart attack. You realize what you're signing up for? The danger, the scrutiny, the fact that my enemies will eventually know about you. I realize you're trying to scare me away." I straddled his lap, the sheet falling away, and his eyes went dark. "It's not working." His hands came up to grip my hips. "Zara. I'm not some fragile flower who needs protecting. I'm a strong, smart woman who knows exactly what she wants." I kissed him, hard and demanding. "And I want you. All of you. The CEO, the criminal, the man who looks at me like I'm his entire world. Can you handle that?" He flipped us in one smooth motion, pinning me beneath him. "I can handle anything as long as I have you." Then he showed me exactly what he meant, and by the time we made it to breakfast, it was nearly noon and I was pretty sure I'd forgotten my own name. We spent the weekend in a bubble, his penthouse, takeout food and each other. He told me stories about growing up in Seoul, about the family business he'd inherited too young, about the weight of responsibility and power. I told him about my dreams of working in media, about my complicated relationship with my traditional parents, about feeling caught between two worlds. "You're not caught," he said Sunday night as we watched the sunset from his balcony. "You're bridging them. Creating something new. Like us. Exactly like us." He pulled me against his chest. "Korean and Nigerian. Legal and illegal. Danger and safety. We're creating our own world, Zara. One that doesn't follow anyone else's rules." It should have sounded cheesy. Instead, it sounded like a promise. Monday morning came too fast. Miho drove me home to change for class, and when we pulled up outside my building, I realized with a jolt that my entire life had changed in 72 hours. "I'll pick you up after class," he said, like it was already decided. "Miho. I'm not letting you go, Zara. Not now. Not ever." He cupped my face, his thumb brushing my cheek. "You're mine. And I protect what's mine." It should have been possessive and caveman-like and all the things I'd normally hate. Instead, it made me feel cherished. Wanted. Safe. "Okay," I breathed. "Pick me up at 4. His smile was brilliant. "It's a date." I floated up to my apartment, only to find Imani waiting with her arms crossed and a knowing look on her face. "Spill," she demanded. "Everything. Now." So I did. And when I finished, she just stared at me. "Girl," she finally said, "you're either living a romance novel or walking into a disaster." "Maybe both." "Probably both," I agreed. "But you're happy." I thought about Miho's smile, his touch, the way he said my name. "Yeah. I'm happy." "Then I'm happy for you." She pulled me into a hug. "Just be careful, okay? This world you're entering. It's not safe." "I know." What I didn't know was that everything was about to get a lot more complicated. Miho picked me up at exactly 4, and we were heading to his favorite Korean restaurant when his phone rang. The second he saw the caller ID, his entire expression changed. Cold, hard, dangerous. "I need to take this," he said, already pulling over. "Don't leave the car." He stepped outside, and through the window I watched him talk in rapid Korean, his body language tense. Something was wrong. Very wrong. When he got back in, his jaw was clenched tight. "What's wrong?" I asked. "Business. Nothing you need to worry about." "Miho. No secrets, remember." He looked at me for a long moment, then sighed. "One of my shipments was intercepted. Someone's moving against me. Testing my defenses." "Is it dangerous?" "It's handled." But his knuckles were white on the steering wheel. "Miho." I said, "It's handled, Zara." His voice was sharp, and I flinched. Immediately, his expression softened. He reached for my hand. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to snap. I need to deal with this. Can I take you home?" "I want to stay with you." "Zara." "No. You said I'm yours. That means you don't get to push me away when things get hard." I squeezed his hand. "Let me be here for you." He stared at me, something like wonder in his eyes. "You really mean that?" "I really do." He pulled me across the console, kissing me hard and desperate. "I don't deserve you." "Probably not," I agreed against his lips. "But you're stuck with me anyway." He laughed, but it sounded strained. "I need to meet with my people. Figure out who's behind this. It might take all night. Then I'll wait. At my place. Safe. Protected." His eyes were fierce. "Promise me you'll stay at my penthouse until I get back." "Promise me, Zara." The intensity in his voice scared me, but I nodded. "I promise." He drove me to his place, made me promise 3 more times to stay inside, and left with a kiss that felt like goodbye. I tried to distract myself, homework, TV, texting Imani. But hours passed with no word from Miho, and I was starting to seriously worry when I heard the penthouse door open. "Miho." I called out, relief flooding through me. But the man who walked into the living room wasn't Miho. He was Korean, tall, with cold eyes and a gun in his hand, and when he smiled at me, it was full of malice. "Hello, Zara," he said in perfect English. "I'm Lee Jae-sung. And you're going to help me send a message to Kang Minho."